all the places.
Turn her up!
He said it's not physically possible to get to all the places where we have problems. So we need more and more people in their own towns, in their own villages, stepping up now. Stepping up and speaking the truth. Stepping up and putting the fear away. Yes, you may suffer a bit of name call, you may suffer, you might get sacked. In the grand scheme of things, what does it really fucking matter when their country's going under and these bastards up here don't give a fuck about us?
Get him out! Get him out!
Angry right now. So again, thanks for coming. I'm sure there'll be many more, and the numbers that we have today, as I said, thanks for coming. We're going to need to multiply this, folks, and we're going to need to multiply it very, very, very quickly. So all the towns and all the villages, if you can activate your town and your village, look after you. Let everybody else sort their own towns out. Take responsibility for your own town. Get to know people in your own town who feel the way you do, and get organised. Start knocking on the doors and start trying to build a people's movement. We're here today for immigration. Today is only about immigration. But there are many, 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 many issues. So we need to amplify them. Today we're here to amplify this, and it's a start point. As I said, this assembly was only called a few weeks ago. So if it hadn't have been called, we wouldn't be here today. There's nobody else in the country talking the way we're talking. There's no political parties. There's no new political parties calling a spade a spade. Our country is under attack. This is a cultural war, and we need to fucking accept it.
Yeah! Get him out!
The next step of accepting that we're all fucking Irish men and women, putting aside our differences, putting aside history, putting aside opinions, putting aside Chinese whispers. We're all connected whether we know it or whether we like it or not. So, with that is all, just amplify it. Lead yourself. Every single one is here today. There ain't no political party leaders standing for us. New ones, established ones, and these veterans in here. These aren't going to do it. We don't have to do it ourselves. So, take charge, folks. First up, we're going to have well-known actors.
Turn her up!
I'm standing in solidarity with 12,500 Irish homeless people. People who have not got a home, and that's double the number of what was 10 years or even 5 years ago. Scandalously, 1/3 of those are children, and the number's increasing exponentially. And that's only the registered people. That's only the... Can you hear me?
That's it, yeah. That's the
Oh,
one.
man,
That's
yourself.
what she
Oh,
said.
man, yourself.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Fair play, boys, fair play.
So I'm here because of the 12,500 homeless Irish people. People who have worked hard, who pay their taxes, who are part of our economy, part of our culture, part of our nation, and are now at the very bottom of the pecking order. What about the 250,000 other Irish people who are couch surfing, living in cars, living in tents, under-accommodated, sub-accommodated? That is almost scandalous in what is said to be a wealthy country, but yet 2 years ago, our Minister of Integration, Rodrigo Gorman,
Get him out! Oh! Get him out! Hang him!
like Arabic, languages like Urdu. Are we aware that over 440 million people speak Arabic? Or they can read on his Twitter to come to Ireland. You will get own door accommodation. We know that 20,000 have come, and multiples of that are probably planning and probably working their way here. 100,000 Ukrainian people are here. Let me be clear about this. I stand in solidarity with Jay. genuine refugees, with people fleeing a genuine war zone. But I am suspecting the Ukraine, which is Europe's biggest country, that the vast majority of the 100,000 people here are not from a war zone. You can Google it in yourself. You can get Airbnb in the Ukraine. You can fly there. You can go to a football match. You can have a meal at a restaurant and you can fly back home. That doesn't sound like a war zone to me. There are war on the borderlands. Yes. People who are going through a rough time, but 100,000 people is ridiculous. It is far beyond our capacity, and Irish people are put to the very bottom of the pit. If you're Irish, do you get a home door accommodation or even a tent? Do you an army tent? Do you get hotel accommodation? No, you get nothing, even though you might have been the person who built up this great nation and great people. And it is the ordinary Irish people, because of our open borders policy, who are suffering. Ordinary, decent people drawing a salary. As I look around, I see on Garda Síochána, ordinary, decent Irish people drawing a salary, struggling to pay a mortgage. But you could be homeless if you lost your job. Your children could be homeless if they were not lucky enough to find a diminishing accommodation. What I'm saying is, we are looking after everybody except ourselves. It is our national duty to look after ourselves, our nation, our history. Ireland is losing our brightest and our best. Our nurses, our teachers, people are going abroad. People are leaving this country because we cannot find accommodation, because our borders are open to everybody. Because there's a limit to what any country can accept. Every country has its limits. This is what is spoken about in every other functioning European democracy. In Italy, in Germany, in Sweden, in Great Britain, in every country in Europe, this debate is happening, but not here, because we are shamed, we are legislated against, we are bullied, coerced and threatened into having no open and free debate, and open debate is a bedrock of society. I obviously show my passport. If I got off an aeroplane wherever in Europe and did not have a passport, I would be in trouble, and rightly so. But yet, 20,000 unvetted, undocumented people boarded aircraft, got off an aircraft with no identification, and claimed they were from a war zone. We know many of those people are from Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, country to go on holidays to. There is no war zone in these places. These are people who are economic migrants, and I don't blame people trying to improve on their circumstances. But I do blame our Minister of Integration for inviting them to our nation. That is treachery. We must have the debate that other countries are having. Take in the United Kingdom, for example, there are plans to deport 200 what is called the Rwanda policy there, where a third party will do the vetting on behalf of the United Kingdom. In Italy, they have arranged with Albania, and then Albania to a third party vetting centre. Now, whether that's fair or not is open to other debate. But the point I'm making here is that other functioning European democracies are facing up to this problem, are recognising it as a problem and are facing up to it as a problem, but we are not doing anything, and I wonder why. And it's got to be ideology, the desire to dilute and diminish our own native historic citizens, many of whose ancestry goes back thousands of years to the dawn of history, and that is not being respected. So solution, let's be solution focused. The solution is clearly to close the border. The solution is to deport those who are here without a valid reason. But the main solution is to get rid of the traitors in
Hang them! Hang the traitors!
Use our democracy in the next elections wisely. There's no point, I suppose, whinging after the event. There are elections coming up. We must stick together with each other. We must articulate a reasonable and proportionate argument.
Wexford didn't do any matches at the minute down there.
And reasonable in every extent.
Quite enough. It's quite enough down there. Very quiet.
Like Gordy and all. It's happened already in Gordy. They should be fucking not be afraid now. Do you know what I mean? But there's no Gordy says no, there's no Wexford says no. It's sad.
We were saying we should blockade that hotel in Rosslare and fucking don't let them in.
Yeah.
Forcefully blockade them.
Yeah.
It's outrageous.
Like that has to start.
It's outrageous what they're doing.
So, why don't you start doing it now?
We're gonna have to. We said, lads, put chains on the doors and let no one in or out.
Yeah,
That's it.
add me, because I'll be into it.
And it's all
While
about
the time was going on,
this gang
I
down
used to
here.
go down and eat down there.
people
While the
have to
stabbing
know
was going on, I was down there eating,
And it's going to take
asking her,
historical
like, you still happy you have them here?
like stuff
To
that
know what
hasn't
to
been
do.
seen in many,
Do you know what I
many
mean?
years in this country. Irish men and women are going to have to stand together. They're going to have to park all the nonsense at
Wexford
the
need to
door.
wake up, because Wexford
Their
are all
purpose.
Fianna Fáil.
It's going to be
Bringing down
destroyed.
these
Wexford's all
Printers.
Malcolm Byrne and Joe
Printers.
Sullivan.
They are the problem.
So that's where we're going to. That's
Joe
why
Sullivan's the next
we're here today. We're
guard.
opposing
25
immigration.
years in the
As I
town.
said,
They all have to go.
immigration only
They're
today.
dirt.
Get rid of them.
We're all
Yeah.
well aware.
Scum.
There are many, many things. So time will roll by and we have to improve the numbers. Let's not fool ourselves. We have to improve these numbers.
Nice one, I'm not going to miss
I was
any
talking
more.
to two outlaws yesterday in the forest.
Come on yourself. Fair play to you.
Forest. The two lads said, lad, forget about it. The damage is done. Just sit back and watch the show. I don't know, I don't feel that way. It's not in my heart to sit back and watch. We have a lady here going to speak. She spoke the last time we were down here on them steps down there, and she brought tears to people's eyes. Look at this girl, look at her hair. Have you seen anything more Irish in your life?
A fine Irish woman.
This is one of our own. And she's going to speak now, and she's going to tell you about her circumstances. And I want you to let it in and let it hit you. And remember it. It's not just another little talk. This girl's life, she's experiencing it right now. So Ashton, you're up. Put away your smoke, will you, for Jesus' sake?
Hello everybody again. I hope everybody is as well as they can be. terrifying. I've no control and power over my own life. I now have gone through more than €70,000 of my own money to stay off the streets. And now the well is run dry and here I am on the streets. So I decided if I am going to be on the streets, the only place I'm going to live is at Leinster House. Yeah? And if I'm going to be homeless, I'm going to live on Kildare Street and I'm going to live outside my government building. I also went on hunger strike for 8 days just to prove to them that I am not going to accept what they are dishing out to my people. They are turning. We are going to have to start our own Irish refugee camp if this continues, because we're going to be the minority in our own country. First of all, there's 18 ministers in the country. We only need to tackle 4 of them. We're not interested in the Minister of Transport, the Minister of Finance or Agriculture. There's four ministers that we need to go after. If we can get rid of them, or if we can get them to see sense and change the system that they think and call a system, which is 1, the Minister of Housing. Can you hear us? Minister of Housing, Darragh O'Brien, you need to go. There's a lot of tests on your hand, and you soon will be in your P45. Anyway, that's number 1. Minister of Health, he needs to go. The Minister of Justice needs to go. The Minister of Housing needs to go. And the Minister of Protection of fucking...
Hang on! Hang on! Hang on!
If no one fights for the innocent young babies and children of Erin, we're fucked. Yes? We're fucked. Now I'd also like to say, I know a lot of people are very angry with the Garda Síochána.
Traitors! Traitors!
Traitors want the Garda Síochána. Now I've seen it myself, okay? I've seen it where they have mistreated people. But I just want to say from my personal experience, living in a tent with genital back disease and a bad hip, hunger strike for 8 days, the Garda Síochána at the Dáil, they looked after me so well. They brought 2 minutes to cook for my dog. They brought me food when I hadn't ate for 8 days. So the Garda Síochána are normal human beings, okay? We have good apples and we have bad apples. And these guards are living, and they have told me these guards are living in hell themselves because they're being treated disgustingly like shit, okay? And also they're living in caravans in fields themselves, okay? They're petrified to hand in their jobs because then they can't pay their mortgage. So that's all I just want to say. There is 20% of them that shouldn't have a fucking badge, should never have got a badge, and they are disgusting human beings, and they look for arguments and they look for fighting. Yeah? But I just wanted to say thank you to the Garda Síochána who have protected me and kept me safe. But 4 ministers, that's all 4 ministers. If we tackle those 4 ministers, we can get our country back and running, and we can take our power back. And if they don't want to change, those 4 ministers don't want to change those 4 major crucial systems that we can't survive without, well then we have to overturn them 4 ministers and they have to be taken down.
Hang the 4 of them!
That's it. So I'm going to hand the mic to somebody else, but what I've seen being homeless after coming from a secure background is horrific. People's mental health problems scale to this whole system. There's a system there saying there is a mental health system, but there is none. It's fraud. Yes? You cannot have a mental health system with 960 psychiatrists for 5 million people. It's fraud. Fraud.
She's dead right.
So I would just like to
disgraceful what's going on.
and help me. I gave me so much love. It gave me the strength to continue absolute insanity of a fight. But you can see I'm stronger than the last time. I'm braver than the last time. And I love every single one of my Irish fellow men. And it's time now. If you don't have papers, get the fuck out. If you're going to get the fuck out. Justice, the Minister of Justice, you have allowance, you have allowance to flood our streets with thousands and thousands of unvetted, illegal immigrants, I have passports for my 2 dogs who are here with me, and I can't go down to England on a boat unless they have a passport.
Righto.
So, Minister of Justice,
Even for a horse, you need a passport for a horse. Fucking unbelievable.
Our beautiful errand to be flooded with absolute horror. So, those 4 ministers are coming after you, and if we can get them out, we've got to
Hang 'em!
And then. I would also like to say I don't know any European Parliament that has a fucking bar in a government building. So, a bar, I've been in the bar, I've had a drink in the bar, so the bar is there and I've seen it myself. The tunnels are over there as well and they lead to all sorts of areas, but we'll talk about that another day. But I just want it would be very nice and respectful to the people who fall out Leinster House, pissed out our minds at 1 o'clock in the morning, from my government building, pissed out our heads at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's fucking insanity. So it's time for all the people to stop speaking and taking action. Because when I made up my mind that my country was falling down the tube, I made a decision. I took action as a young woman, terrified of myself, and I said I am going to show everybody in that government that I am not afraid. And I email every day and I tell them, don't email me back, I'm at the fucking door living outside. So, I share that. They all fall out at 1 o'clock in the morning. And if I need to drink, they wouldn't even know.
She has access to legal services anyway. That's it,
Real life story. Sleeps down the road there. On these people's watch. And because of these people's policies. We're here today. Immigration is today's baby. And the demand is close the borders. Is that what we want here today? Is that what we want here today?
Yeah!
What do we want?
Hang the traitors!
Closed. Unfortunately for us, in the realistic, real world, this show isn't going to do that. So we have to make sure we don't go away and disappear into the World Wide Web for another 6 weeks and come out again. We have to fucking live this life. Every day we have to live this life. You know, there are no public servants out there talking like this. There isn't. So we need to start speaking up and speaking out for ourselves. And yeah, some of your family will think you're a bit off the fucking nut. That's to be expected when they're all watching Coronation Street and fucking Saturday Night Live at the deck. It's a different world these people are on. Formula 1 and cocaine and rugby, as Gemma O'Doherty says. The men of the country have lost their natural minds, it seems. So what we're trying to do here is with the backbone of the women who never seem to disappear. We're calling for the fucking men. The manly men, the real men who don't go around wanting to be fucking purple unicorns. Although you can do that if you want to. But what we're looking for here is real rebels. Don't forget in 1916, when the rebellion was going on, it was only a handful of them. Most of Dublin spit on them, threw bags of piss on them, threw vegetables and eggs at them. It wasn't until they were killed that people thought, oh wait, hang on a fucking second, these are the fucking same. So, do you realise that we are the anti-treaty people 100 years later? And these are the Free State government. These boys and girls in the year 1922, from the establishment of the Free State, the following year they were still killing people and politicians who were against the Anglo-Irish Treaty. A year after the Free State was set up. So these people have been connected to the Crown from way back when, and the Crown hasn't gone. So what we are here is men and women of the Irish Republic. That's what we are. And we don't want to let it go. You know, we are Irish naturals. We understand our history. It goes way back when, thousands of years. We're a very special place, a very special race. And we have to learn to love ourselves, step into it, and be a fucking proud Irish man or woman, with the help of our friends from different nations who live here lawfully and legally. People who come here and work and do things properly. They're more than welcome. What we're talking about is men, mostly men, coming in with no papers. I was at a town hall meeting down in Monasterevin about a month ago. I walked in and sussed it out. There was 4 or 5 politicians talking there. And they were talking about the budget and how the population of our land is at the biggest it's ever been since the famine days. Lots of people are coming here and doing great work and bringing jobs and all this stuff. So at the end of the meeting, when I put my hand up and I just let them know that there's many Irish people who aren't happy with what's going on here. We all only have to open our ears and our eyes. I'm sure you've seen the photos of Aisling Murphy. Beautiful young Irish Colleen, her life ahead of her. She went out miserably on a canal, almost decapitated, I suppose. 11 stab wounds to the neck. You walked that out. 11 stab wounds to the neck, or trying to take the girl's
Someone should stab him in the neck.
Walk her out yourself. But she lies in a grave. And we stand here today to remember her. And the 2 lads from Sligo, 2 gay lads that were killed. The fella had kills. And when they raided his gaff, he had guns and 400,000 euro in cash. So these are the type of people we're talking about. I was only talking to Jimmy there earlier on. He was telling me about the Avonry out in Blessington Lakes. There's 42 houses out there, he was telling me. People had to get in a month's notice, they're getting fucked out. And they're bringing in immigrants a month before Christmas. So this is the people we're talking about.
Burn it down.
This is just not right.
I'd fucking burn it.
You know? And people can bury their heads in the sand if they want to. People can go around trying to talk about inclusivity and diversity and integration. It's all white noise and it's all NGO bullshit.
Disband the NGOs!
Today is get a real
They're paying to bring them in.
Get you all to stick
They're an
together.
illegal organisation,
Stay
them
connected,
NGOs.
folks. Don't just fucking messenger each other once a week when you have something. You know, park your bullshit at the door. Get active. I know East Wall was active recently. I know Ballymun is active. I know Kildorkin is active. And that's basically what's happening here today, is them people have come together to try and fucking do something that nobody else is doing. So keep trying. I know the numbers are low. The Ballymun people, you need to just keep going, knocking on doors in your town. You know, people will close doors in your faces, they think you're mad. That's okay. Just keep trying to build the numbers and make sure you keep the faith in yourself. Because I know it can get depressing sometimes, sitting on your own. It doesn't seem like it's sticking. Many people's movements, they all seem to fall. But that's what happens. They call them movements far right. I was only talking to my mother about this the other day. Any movement that's not controlled by the government or an NGO or a union is far right. So that's what it is. It's not violence, it's all bullshit. Anybody who's not controlled within the umbrella of the government parties, the unions or the NGOs is far right. So fucking own it. And be Farley. Yeah? Be that Farley. Be that rebel. Step into it.
100% right.
That's what you are. Everyone is slightly different than most. You know? Little bit of the black sheep of the family. Little bit of a rebel. So fucking own it. Step into it. Next up we have dáil.
Yes!
Is Michelle dáil, coming in a pony in Good morning everybody, and thank you everybody for coming. And I'm from the county of Meath. And as we left County Meath this morning, and we overlooked the Boyne and the home of Newgrange and Tara and all the megalithic sites of our forefathers in County Meath. And then we come here, much to our disdain, that we have a County Meath woman who does not know what is a woman.
Shocking.
Helen McEntee.
Get him out!
Who has decided to support dangerous, open-door migrant policy.
Yeah, exactly.
Putting our own elderly, our children, and our most vulnerable in danger. Much to our shame, she represents the county of Meath. But Meath says no. She does not represent me. And then we have a minister, supposedly for state, also from the county of Meath, Mr. English, who closed down the shops during the scandemic and did not allow children to buy the most basic of clothes. And much to our shame, he represents Meath, but he does not represent me. Meath says no.
Hang him on!
And to be neutral is an outdated notion. I'm here to tell them you are the outdated notion.
Get him out!
The Irish are free. And when you come to my house, you are a welcome guest. But that means you don't steal from me. You don't rape or pillage my children. You do not tell me how to run my household. And when you cannot obey my rules, you leave my home.
Yes!
And when they say anybody can be Irish, it's just a matter of a piece of paper. But let me tell you, when you travel to the mountains of Sligo, when you appreciate the mist coming off Ben Bolden, and when you travel around Kerry and Cork and Donegal, and when you listen to the poetry of Yeats and Kavanagh with his struggle and his love and his hatred of the land, you tell me whose heart soars and whose heart and soul goes down into depression. Only the Irish are Irish.
Yes!
And if you want to come here, you abide by our very fair trafficked. And we understand they're being displaced and forced, many of them, to come here to suit a globalist agenda that our puppets in Gangster House have benefited from. So many times we understand these people's predicament, but I'm sorry to tell them the country is closed. We don't have the answers for you here. So I'd just like to say, it doesn't matter whether you have one person or 1,000 people standing in your community. People in rural towns will understand how hard it is to stand up. The cities may have it slightly easier, not much. So I'd say to the people in those rural towns, talk to your own people. I know it's difficult, but try to make them understand they're in a war. I told somebody the other day, you're in a war. You have to understand. And it's a global war, not just an Irish war. And we do need the help of our international friends. But finally, I'd just like to say to all the people that come after time and time, and all the people that volunteer in particular with the Wake Up Era and all the other groups, my heart is with you, and I only speak from the heart. And I would like to say to you personally, my own personal thanks. God bless you all, to the gangsters in Gangster House, to the ministers from me. I personally, Dáil I'm calling the ministers in Meath. I want you out.
Out! Out! Out!
God bless you all. Take care of yourself.
So yeah, folks, I think you can get the impression from today's gathering what we're about. You can see around you, Ballymun, South Dublin, East Wall, different areas. Shout them out. Waterford, Musgrave,
Wexford says no! Get him out!
Wexford says no. Wexford says no. Who else have we got? Newbridge says no. Who else? Kenny says no. Who else?
Ireland says no.
Hull says no. Who else? Wicklow says no. Who else? Who else say fucking no? So what we need to do is, right, we need to all take our clothes off now, like three, and just scream no!
No!
No, but seriously, folks, we need to elevate our message. We need to stop fucking arguing about what the difference in our message is. Whether it's the immigration, whether it's Tuskla, whether it's education, whether you're doing it through common law, whether you're doing it through voting. It doesn't matter. They're all angles. But the people have to become one unit. That's it. That's what we're trying to do here. No agendas, no egos, no political parties. Nobody's leading it. It's just people. And the numbers get smaller, smaller, smaller. And then the cream rises to the top. And then you have your people's movement. So keep the faith. The numbers go down, go down, go down. Eventually, we either keep going down and we disappear and we lose this, or we fucking start building. So from this day on, let's start building. And people out there who don't speak, start speaking.
Yeah!
We're at home. If you can make it to any future gatherings. In fact, take the lead. You don't even have to travel to Dublin. I know lots of people say, I can't get to Dublin, the price of petrol, I have kids, I have work. I get that. But don't come to Dublin then. Have something in your own town. Farm in your own town. Don't be saying I can't get to Dublin. Get where you fucking are and grow there. And then down the road with me. I won't see many of you. I don't even know half of you. I know a few faces, and I'm friendly with some people. But in my daily life, I don't need to be as a friend. I don't need to follow me. Don't need to donate money to me. Don't need to give me fucking anything. Just like light that fire in your own belly. Get that home. We're then halfway there. Yeah? So if you can leave today, just fucking take charge of yourself and realise you are the outcast. You are the dark sheep and you are the rebel. But most people are locked in the mainstream haze. As I said, it's either rugby, it's football, it's Formula 1, it's fucking... They have things now where people slap each other up. Slap, the UFC have it now, it's got so fucking silly. Slap champions. So they slap each other. They're all men like fucking Muslims and all, steroids. People get lost in this nonsense, you know? Whether it's dancing on ice or Coronation Street, whatever. You know? They get lost. Lost souls. And we're trying to bring them back. And what we're telling them is like, it's like an upside down and inside out reality. And we scare them sometimes. So maybe sometimes baby gloves, you know? Don't have to go in with the ear that's flat. You don't have to go in with the Trenic. You don't have to go in with that. You just go in with, do you think the government need to fall?
Yeah! Get him out!
Yes! Do you think this government need to fall?
Yes!
I do too. I do too. That's why all these fences are here. They just don't want to hear us. It's like when you talk to someone about protections, or you talk to someone about mining the mountains, or you talk to somebody about children going missing in state care, and people seem to think that kids going missing and rape of children was all in the 60s and the 50s and the 70s. That shit's still going on today. Today, there's children going missing in this country. There's some dark stuff going on in this country. And lots of people don't want to listen. Because you're welcome up and they're soiled.
Guards are looking for him.
That's what you tell them to shut up.
Exactly. They're the problem. You should help that man.
You've got to keep hitting that nerve. And most importantly, I know lots of people talk about waking up the masses. How are we going to wake up the masses? How are we going to wake up the masses? We don't need to wake up the masses. We need to wake up ourselves and go to a higher level. Just don't get involved in opinions, Chinese whispers, and this fella's right and that fella's wrong, and the way they're doing it is wrong, and he asks for money, she doesn't ask for money. It's all nonsense. This system needs to fall. And I've been lucky 20 years, 44 now, so give it 20 years, I'll be 64. I don't know if I'll have the energy to do this in 20 years time. So we need to give her a good lash, because if we don't get our shit together, imagine this place 20 years from now. Break my heart.
It'll be like Islamabad.
I'm ready to walk around the streets of Dublin. I was actually assaulted on the way this morning by an Irish girl. I was sitting on the statue there in O'Connell Street having a smoke and a coffee, and a girl came over to me and goes, "What are you saying to me? I'm in bad form." She got me with my own umbrella. I said, "What's going on?"
Fuck's sake.
And then I actually realised, I looked around, and all I could see was Irish people strung out, walking around with sleeping bags. Just Irish people, emaciated face, like they're sick, they're confused. So nobody's going to help them. It's not us, then who? So who we go up next? Patty Lynch. Here's Cathy. Cathy's one of the ladies from the group, so she chose to speak.
You're very good. The assembly is being respected by our public indentured servants. Where will you say? I won't be but I just thinking about this in a different way. This isn't immigration. This is human trafficking. That is what it is, and our public servants are in the business of public or human trafficking. Now, I'm not it's now 61%. The word is out. So this is how Helen McEntee answered me. And it shows you just concern.
They should never be let on the planes in the first place.
Well, they're boarding the planes with passports and then they're binning them on the plane.
Yeah, if you ask me, they're just letting them on with no passport.
Yeah, well that could be true too, yeah.
It's organised against us.
Yeah. This country. So this is a paragraph from Helen McEntee. When somebody presents at a port of entry without proper documentation, e.g. an accepted travel document such as the passport, or without a valid visa for entry if required, they are generally refused leave to land and returned to their country of origin as soon as is practicable. That's reasonable, isn't it? Wouldn't you say that's reasonable? Yes. That's our laws, by the way, Gardaí, while you're listening. That's our law. So what does Helen McEntee say how many are refused leave to land in this country? She says the number of refusals to leave to land annually is very small when set against the overall number of arrivals into the state each year. Now hold on to your hats. Approximately 0.06% of people are refused. Not me. The people who have lost their documentation or destroyed it. 99.94% of people get an open door in this country. 99.94%. 61 million. So let me just finish on what the definition of human trafficking is. And let's call what it is. It's human trafficking. It's not immigration. So the Human Trafficking Act, a person is guilty of human trafficking is when a person organizes or knowingly facilitates the entry into the state of a person who he or she knows or has reason to believe to be an illegal immigrant or a person who intends to seek asylum shall be guilty of the offense of human trafficking. And I don't know about you, but I can select my government to human traffic people in this country at the expense of our own. Now, international relations is supposed to benefit the state, not to detriment. We all need to be writing to the office, writing to our GTA, and saying that we object to this business they're putting, not just the Irish GTA, the people that are trafficked into this. We need to fight back against this invasion and never give up. Never give up. We need to hand up. For the day we give up is the day that we lost our country and lost our children's inheritance. Keep up the fight.
Not ahead. You gotta love it. Not only more and more people actually took it in and felt it. You know, people get used to sound bites. These are not sound bites. We're not travelling from all over the country here today for sound bites to go out on social media for people to have their coffee and their smokes and their biscuits to pick holes in what we did wrong today. We're not here for that. We're here for the country. We're here for the nation. And people need to understand, the nation is the people. We're the nation. It's not hard. We're the nation and they're the state. So you need to pick a side. You need to pick a side. Are you standing with the state like these people? That's what they're doing, right? They're taking the king's shoe to stand and protect the state.
Traitors!
We're looking to protect the nation, which is the people, which is us, which is our culture. The whole thing. These people aren't tuned into their culture the way we are. That's why they think we're a bit crazy, and that's why we're wearing police uniforms. They think different, right? But it's okay. People think differently all the time. But what it is, what's most important is that the way we think, we need to amplify that. And as I said, today is immigration. But I've been around the block many years, and I'm just looking out here, I'm seeing the same places that I've seen for the last few years. So that's your people. That's your people. Push them. Tom there, Sarah Lou's been around, Carol's been around, Adele's been around, Johnner's been around, Ashton's been around, Craig's been around. There's your people. What are you looking for? You're looking for some fucking messiah to come down out of the sky? It's not going to happen. It's just going to take flesh and blood here. It always has. It takes real men and women. You know? We're all connected. So, here we are. And today, as I said, folks, I've been around the block. I've been around since way back when. Fucking Christy Burke over in East Wall, when he was running. He was crying out for houses. I went one day to the kids. It was like 30 people approaching her. About 10 years ago. They're still going on. We've gone through the water charges. People think that was a victory. That wasn't a victory. Irish Water's still there. They just rebranded it. It's called Ishka Aaron now. It's not gone anywhere. That battle was what happened there was that battle was taken right to the fucking doorsteps. Right here. And then Brendan Ogle and all the United Unions and all them filthy dirt doors, they took it over. And that's why Home Sweet Home involves Brendan Ogle, Sinn Féin, all them people. Why'd you think none of these celebrities are out? Where's Damien Dempsey with all his ballad songs now? I follow Damien Dempsey around the country singing Irish ballad songs about the King, the Queen, the colony. Ever heard these songs, Damien Dempsey? Where is he now? They were all in Home Sweet Home. Put two and two together. What was Home Sweet Home? Sinn Féin agitated. Create the problem, create the solution. That's why none of these celebrities are speaking out. They're all Sinn Féin heads. We all know now Sinn Féin. That's not Sinn Féin of yesteryear. Sinn Féin was created in 1970. NY5 agents. We know all this. Drew Harris is their boss. They're voting to kick Drew Harris out. But he's still there. So they give the illusion of democracy. We're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. We're out there for now. We're all right. Stand where we are. We wasn't good enough for them earlier. Fuck them. Don't worry, they'll be coming to us for help soon and advice. Don't you worry. It was only fucking 3 years ago. I was working for the HSE for 22 years in the drug treatment centre in the First Street. It's the biggest drug treatment centre in the country. That's what I did for 22 years until this whole shit started. I wasn't playing their games, so now I'm unemployed and I'm here on a fucking weekday screaming my brains out to a couple of hundred people, just trying to get the message out. These people are state troopers. They're protecting the state. We are the Irish Republican rebels. That's what we are. So we need to own that shit. Take it in, live it, read our history.
Well, everyone listen to me. And I said it really nice.